All right, guys, so today in class we talked about how to create a box plot. So let's review our steps. First thing that we're going to do when we create our box plot is to find the median. Okay, so we're going to order up that data set and we're going to find the median. Then we're going to find our lower quartile, which we talked about yesterday, was the median of the lower half. Then we're going to find our upper quartile, which we talked about was the median of the upper half. Okay, we're going to find our extreme. So we're going to find our lower extreme, which is the smallest value in the data set or the minimum. Then we're going to find our upper extreme, which is the largest number in the data set or the maximum. Okay, then we're going to plot all of those points on a number line. Okay, we're going to construct a box around the upper quartile, the median, and the lower quartile. Then we're going to extend lines to the lower and the upper extremes. Okay, so let's take a look here. Just a flashback to yesterday. This is what our box plot should end up looking like. Okay, we have whiskers or lines out to our lower extreme and out to our upper extreme. Okay, this edge of our box, the furthest left edge, is the lower quartile. The furthest right edge of our box is the upper quartile, and that line in the middle represents the median. Okay, so that's what ours is going to look like, except it's going to be with this data set that we have here. Okay, all right, so create a box plot to represent the following set of data. The first thing that we have to do anytime we're going to be finding the median is to order our data set from least to greatest. Okay, all right, so I see we've got a 5, a 9. Okay, then we've got 17, 21, 25, 36, and 45. So there's our data set from least to greatest. Okay, now when we find the median, we're going to draw underneath each number till we get to the very center. So we're going to mark off a 5 and a 45, mark off 9 and 36, mark off 17 and 25. So that makes 21 our median. Okay, now everything below the median is our lower half. So there's my lower half. Everything above the median is my upper half. Okay, so we found the median, we found our halves. Now I need the lower quartile, which is the median of the lower half. So I'm in my lower half here, so I'm going to mark off 5 and 17, and I get that the median of the lower half is 9, so that's my lower quartile. I'm going to do the same thing to the upper half. I'm going to mark off 25 and 45, and my number left in the middle, or the median of the upper half, is 36, so that's my upper quartile. Okay, so we've done all of that before. That's not new. Now what we're going to do is we're going to plot those on a number line. Okay, now 5 is my lower extreme and 45 is my upper extreme. We're going to need those as well. So here's my number line. Okay, and the first thing we need to ask ourselves is what would be a good skip count? I've got to go from 5 to 45. Okay, so a good skip count, I think, would be by 5s. Okay, so we've got our 0, and then I'm going to count by 5s all the way up to 45. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, all the way up to 45. Now, obviously not all of these are going to fall on one of the 5s, but we're just going to do our best to place it in between where it would go. Okay, so plotting our numbers, the first one we're going to plot is our lower extreme, which is a 5. So I'm going to go to my number line. I'm going to go above it because we're drawing the box, so it's got to be above. And I'm going to put my dot at a 5. That represents my lower extreme. Then my lower quartile is a 9. So I'm going to go almost to 10, not quite, put my dot for a 9, and that represents my lower quartile. My median is a 21. So I'm going to scooch on over. I see 20. I'm going to go past it just a smidge, and there's my median of 21. I've got an upper quartile of 36. So I'm going to go past 35 just a little bit, put my 36 for my upper quartile. And then my upper extreme is a 45. So on my number line here, I'm just going to go straight to 45 above it, and I'm going to put a dot. Okay, so we've plotted all our points. Now what we're going to do is we're going to construct a box around the upper quartile, the lower quartile, and the median. Okay, so we know that the lower quartile is the left side of my box. The upper quartile is the right side of my box. So here's my box. And we also need to draw a line through the median to show that this is the center of our data. Okay, so we've got our box, we've got our line. Now we're going to extend lines, or some people call them whiskers, to the lower and upper extremes. So here's my line to the lower extreme, and here's my line to the upper extreme. And that's, we've got it. We've got a box plot.